Okay, that's what I get for trusting a mic that isn't mine. Oh man, I should not have done that. I'm sorry guys, that was really awful. I didn't realize until I got back and actually looked at the VOD how bad that was. I could blame the other hardware, but really I wasn't prepared. I got home and was like, oh shit, get it together! Is it gonna be good? And it wasn't good. So, we're gonna do it again. Not exactly the same, of course, because this time you'll actually be able to hear me without it sounding like I'm trying to eat the fucking thing. But things should be significantly better now, is what I'm getting at. So welcome back, everybody, those who have absolutely nothing better to do. But welcome to Tastyspleen TV. This is your friendly neighborhood Jahar. And man, I'm still wasted completely after this weekend. FadeCon was such an awesome time travel trip, DeLorean speed cruise drive to the 1990s. And I wasn't ready to come back. And actually, we're not back yet. We're still going to be playing some Strafe. It's going to be an absolute treat coming from 1997, 8, somewhere in there. But of course, this is something completely new. There's a lot of really fresh ideas, a lot of really cool stuff going on. There's not a whole lot known about the way the game is actually going to be played out in total yet. But there's a whole lot known about, you know, the sort of aesthetic and the sort of feel that these guys are going for. And man, they are nailing it. So guys, I'm going to take it on faith that my audio is actually good now. I'm going to check on that real quick, and I'm going to hop in game. I will be right back. In the meantime, there, that should be better, right? Well, I'm close to it anyway. Oh man, that headset mic, I don't know how Deadbeat uses that thing. That is just rough. Okay, so gonna hop back in here and get into the beginning of the game. For those of you who downloaded it and can't quite figure it out, it's L. You can push that L button, which I did by mashing the... Wow. Which you could do by mashing the keyboard until you figure out which button that is, like I did. Or you can read the README, which I probably should have done, but I didn't. So, once again, let me check on things here without throwing anything else across the room. Man, Wednesdays, I could never really get a hold of them. That's why I stopped hosting events on Wednesdays. It was just a bad idea for everybody. So, I do need to complete a run with the railgun, but man, I really like the shotgun a lot. I'm actually going to grab that again. And we're starting to see guys actually jump around a little bit, but what I'm confused about is like what the gun does when you jump off a wall. Just a second, let me change one more thing here. There we go. So I don't really know what's going on with like the wall jumps and all that. Like, am I actually wall jumping, or is the gun just going all over the place? Because it feels like it. Oh, okay. Well, I'm seeing some people with like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the speedrun, and I have no idea how that's getting picked up. I need to go watch some streams, watch some videos, see how that's being done, but I'm not doing it. Obviously, I'm spending way too much time doing what I shouldn't be doing and enjoying shooting bad dudes, when really I should just be, you know, blowing through them and getting a better time. However, shooting bad dudes is sort of what I like in life. Sort of what I do, so I suppose I could just like drop through here, completely ignore that, drop through these guys. See, before I was like getting a feel for the enemies, how they react, how they play out, but if I actually want to like get a proper time out of this, I should be ignoring these dudes completely. And so like the times, you know, machine gun has gotten actually the fastest time by far, by like a solid 10 seconds. I'm not going to be making that anytime soon here, but I do kind of want to start to piece it together. And that wasn't the thing to do. That was retarded. That was dumb. But no, again, the things I'm really enjoying about Strafe so far, the guns feel moderately good. You know, I don't think they're, you know, to be honest, they're not quite there yet. But again, alpha, if I start talking about the things that aren't quite there yet, you know, it's entirely unfair. What they wanted to do is, you know, maybe make reparations for the trailer, because the trailer was so cool, but it showed us absolute dick about the way the game actually played. So this answers a lot of those questions right off the bat, gives us a taste of what we're going to be getting later on, which is going to be like procedural levels, a lot of randomness, a lot of really cool stuff put together, a lot of different environments, I'm hoping. But this is really brave and really cool of them to be showing off this much of the game already. So definitely want to celebrate that and support that, while getting my butt handed to me. I'm not going to be able to make that. So it means I can start again. Yeah, the shotgun sound, like, I would... don't crash on me now. There we go. The shotgun sound, you know, give that as much balls as you can. Like, don't skimp on that. The model's really cool. I really like that. I don't know if that's supposed to be just like an ammo display on the top or a scope, but shotguns with scopes always made me a little... So I'm not utilizing my jumps anywhere near enough. I need to start, like, blasting through these dudes. Uh-oh. Need to not click outside of the game either. That would be nice. There we go. Come on, capture my mouse. That's a good window. Cool. Oof. I don't have to provide my own sound effects now. The sound should be perfectly adequate now. So one thing you can't do if you're speedrunning is, you know, pay too much attention to enemies. You know, do it quick style where you're actually using them to hop up on things. I haven't seen too many opportunities for that just yet. But obviously I can just drop down here, not use the stairs. But again, so what's going on here is probably a little bit different than what we're going to be getting in the final game. The final game consisting of more procedural and randomly generated levels. However, again, I really hope that this means that we have the option to have static levels. Like, for the main game, like, you know, sort of roguelike Binding of Isaac type thing, cool. I completely went the wrong direction again. For that sort of gameplay, you know, cool. I can totally get behind that. I'm a huge roguelike player myself. I'm totally in support of that sort of thing. However, at the same time, I'm a Doom player, I'm a Quake player. I like the artistry and individuality of single-player level design. And if this is a platform that enables people to kind of keep that moving forward as, you know, as we hit the future, 2015 and all that, then I will be extremely happy. I'm not expecting that. The game is definitely going to have its own thing going on. I'm totally okay with that. Get some more health, though. I'm not okay with that. But no, it would be nice. It would be really nice. And again, because the fidelity is a little bit lower than what you would get in other games, like other like AAA titles, because the targets are just so different. It does... Oh, shit. I'm not going to be able to make that. Maybe I should switch to railgun. It does mean that that if there are tools to build levels, then, you know, content could be produced a little bit faster than it could be produced for, say, you know, Unreal Engine or, you know, Crysis or something of that nature. You know, in Doom, you were able to just draw a box and have a room, and it would be nice if this was the same sort of thing. Now, it being 2015, I'm willing to bet that a lot of these level pieces were done in like Maya or Blender or something like that. So it may not be brush-based at all. Who knows? They might surprise me and say, hey, we've actually got like a fully custom render and a fully custom, you know, brush editor or map editor going on. But I'm certainly not expecting it. You know, there are a lot of advantages to doing map design in a modeling application like Maya or Blender. There's a lot of people who know that. And if you just say, hey, make your levels in this, then everybody who already has that skill set can just carry that skill set forward. And that's powerful. That's really important. Performance and technical reasons, you know, there's also those factors as well. I'm not going to knock that at all. But it does mean that people who don't know those things are less likely to get in and start experimenting. It's going to happen. You know, there are people who are going to be dedicated enough to try anything. But it's not going to happen as much as opposed to, you know, having an in-game map editor or an in-engine map editor that allows people to just get in and, more importantly, modify content that's already there. It's one thing to make new content. It's another thing altogether to, you know, take some content that's already there, modify a model, modify a texture. That's how we got the Barney mod in the first place. Where am I going? Shit. Shit. That's how we got all those things. So, modifying levels that are already there, that's a really good first step. You know, I'm talking about what is it going to take to make somebody who's never modded, never touched a game before in that way, to touch a game in that way. Oh man, I'm having a lot of trouble with those ladders because there's all that crap there. Okay, fuck. Oh, this room is my problem. Because I keep ignoring those dudes. I need to find out who I need to take down first. I do like the fact that the enemies crowd up on you. That's the way it should be. I like that a lot. Alright, so... And I died at, what, 33% at 2 minutes? Is there like a massive skip that I'm missing? I want to say so. So things like co-op? Oh man. If you've never played Doom co-op, which I'm assuming most of us haven't, even on the Tastyspleen crowd, Go play, like, get on Z-Dame and get on, like, I don't know, Otimex or something and do some Doom co-op. It is a fucking blast. It's, like, some of the most fun you can have. You know, and things like Serious Sam co-op are fantastic as well. There's nothing quite like, you know, taking down a bunch of, you know, weak Robotron-style monsters just with a bunch of friends, just having complete chaos and rockets and shotguns everywhere. It's you know, one of the best things you can do. So co-op would be great. Co-op would be amazing. Deathmatch? I don't know. Like, we have deathmatch games. I mean, you know, I'm trying to get a show off the ground, and there are shows out there that show you just how many deathmatch games are available right now, and it's a huge amount. Not doing very well. You know, so I'm not going to be one of those guys that says that, you know, Strafe has to have deathmatch. Is it another avenue to kind of celebrate maps and map design? Sure, I'm totally behind that. But would I see more value in seeing sort of the return of single-player brush-based, you know, mapping? Oh, absolutely. That would be fantastic. I shoot that barrel. Kind of retarded. That combined with co-op would be, you know, really, really nice. So what I need to do is take this fucker down, and hopefully, oh my god, that means I can get up these ladders without taking a ton of damage. There we go. And get out of there without getting caught. Now this branch is kind of interesting to me. I don't know which way is faster. That's a dead end. Oh my god, that was a really bad idea. That was a terrible idea. I have regrets. Okay, I'm just gonna come down here instead now. Okay, well, made it past that room at least. So jump over that guy. You can skip this. Now, it does kind of mean something to me that you can skip a lot of this stuff. Now, that does place it more in, like, the Quake territory. But there's not a whole lot of gating going on. Now, by gating, I'm really happy that doesn't mean, you know, like painkiller style gating. Do I have to get like 100%? Or 90% monsters to get through that door? To get through that final door? Is killing all the monsters a requirement for the speedrun? Is it? No, it couldn't be. How are people getting those times? Am I just that bad? It must be. Is killing all the monsters really a requirement? In 2 minutes? I mean, it stands to reason. That's why that percentage sign is there. I get that. But man, do I really have to? And here I was just going on about how there's no gating and you could just, like, breeze through the levels like you would in Quake and just skip most of the monsters. And it looks like I was dead wrong. Really? Do I have to kill everything? Wow. Well, that changes things quite a bit. Well. So, you know, I'm going to... I know we went over a lot of this stuff when I went through it the first time with that shitty mic. Oh, they have wrenches too. That's so awesome. But just to give a little brief intro to Strafe, if you haven't checked out the Kickstarter trailer yet, go do so. It's one of the best films of 2015 so far. Shit, throw 2014 in there as well. It's just amazing. And it really shows that they're trying to go for this aesthetic, and they're really actually they're getting it, you know? It's really impressive. It's really cool. And it shows that this aesthetic is legitimate. It looks cool, you know, with or without the rose-tinted goggles. You know, again, I bring that up a lot because there are a lot of people who are pretty insistent that this whole, you know, pixel art thing and low poly thing is just either a craze or a hipster dream for the good old days, or, you know, they just want to look retro. You know, those guys going around with, like, Nintendo controller belt buckles, those completely insufferable types. I want to rebel against that. I think there's real value in games that are allowed to look like this. Again, they're easier to create, not from an artistic standpoint. You still need to, you know, have a good eye for things, but the assets don't take anywhere near as long to put together. You know, you're not as concerned with normal maps or, you know, high poly models or any of that crap, or really complex skeletal animations or procedural animations or any of that. The more you can simplify, the more you can accomplish with a smaller team. That's why Minecraft was able to get out the door. You know, the 16 by 16 textures were a huge boom. That was a really big deal. And I think it's important to kind of celebrate this style moving forward because it enables smaller developers to make things that look visually consistent. Before Minecraft and the other, pixel art games really came around, which was coincidentally all at about the same time. All these things kind of came around in like what, 2008, 2009. It was a really tight time period when not only Minecraft but independently a bunch of other indies were starting to make more, sprite-based games, things that kind of harken back to, Super Nintendo RPGs and things of that nature. And it wasn't a coincidence. I think it was the right time for it because indie games prior to that movement, they looked awful. They tried to look AAA. They tried to have all the right features and everything that you would expect out of your id softwares and your Epic Games and things of that nature, and it just looked bad. A lot of games struggled to maintain artists between versions, so you would have a gun that was made by one artist in one version and a gun that was made by another artist in another version, and it just didn't work well at all. And so this has really saved things. Not because, hey, look at us, we're so cute and old school, hee hee hee, but because we can make consistently, visually consistent games without having to worry about having all the features that all the AAA games have. That's really important. If you can carve out a look that is unique, that has some value to it, that gets people excited. I mean, it's not old nostalgic hipsters who are playing Minecraft, right? It's like the 14 and 12-year-olds. That's a really big demographic for that game. And they certainly didn't grow up with, your Nintendos and your Segas and your Ataris and Commodore 64s and all that crap. They don't have any of that context. And I think that's really important, the fact that they're enjoying that aesthetic without putting on their lensless glasses and going, tee-hee, aren't we hipster? I think that's really cool. So again, I think this aesthetic is a fantastic development. I want it to be supported. I hope that some of the other aspects of the games that this is obviously harkening back to, I hope they come through. But so far, the time trial stuff, this really early alpha, it's fun. The projectiles are bitch to dodge. These guys are cool. You have the right mix-up of enemies that have projectiles and enemies that are running towards you, so you have, a few different things to worry about simultaneously. You have these motherfuckers that I don't think I like very much at all, that you have to worry about all the time. So the fact that you have to walk into a room, kind of gather information on, okay, which enemies are where, what are their capabilities, what are their behaviors, and then you have to immediately start prioritizing based on your movement, based on your position, based on your weapon. Okay, what am I attacking first? If this were Doom and I saw a chain gunner, I'd be like, okay, time to whip out, rockets or my own chain gun and make sure that they die first, because at range, with a clear line of sight, they will be the ones that kill me first. If I'm in a room full of imps and shotgunners, the shotgunner's gonna go first. I can't dodge their shit. I can, walk around an imp fireball. So those sort of decisions, being able to walk into a room and again go, okay, I need to take you down first, then you, that's a really big aspect. And so far, Strafe kind of has that. And I want to see that, kind of continue. I want to see more of that because I think that's really important. It's a style of gameplay that's been kind of given a bad name over the last several years. We keep hearing the words maze-like and, hallway shooter come around. And neither of those things really apply to the games that really started the genre. Doom was incredibly exploratory. Doom had secrets that you could see the reward for the secret before you got to the secret. The games asked you to explore the environment, to, really become familiar with it. And the combat, it wasn't just mowing down enemies in a corridor, which did happen sometimes, but just for the pure thrill of it. It was more about dodging around pillars and making sure that you were not getting hit by fireballs while simultaneously taking care of the hit scanners and conserving your ammo and making sure that you're looking around all the corners for all the resources you can get. It was incredibly tactical. And I don't know where that got lost along the way. One part of it, of course, is the fact that the technology got more complex. You started going from games with like 10 or 15 enemies on screen to games with 4 or 5 enemies on screen to games with 1 enemy on screen, because that one enemy has more polygons than the entirety of Quake had. And that had an effect, I'm sure. It's certainly one of the effects that Doom 3 had, because people initially were like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna make a map with, 60 monsters all in a room, like the good old Doom had. Quickly realized, oh, there were only 1 or 2 enemies on screen at a time for a reason, because, the engine just doesn't support that at speed. Sure, it does now, but of course, where we were at Doom 3 in terms of visual fidelity is now just kept going up, so it's cool to me that we're drawing the line at some point and going, okay, maybe some things are more important than just having more polygons on the screen. Having less polygons on the screen means we can have more enemies. We can have more advanced shit going on. We can start experimenting with the AI a little bit more. We can have more I'm gonna go down that dead end again. We can have more complex interactions between things if we aren't just so focused on making sure that the subsurface scattering on an orc, a single orc, is the most important thing to our game. So, yeah, I'm down with this. This is totally okay. It means that it can run faster, it can be developed faster, you can have more shit going on, and it means that some of those things, like dodging around multiple enemies at once, can come back. Part of the reason they died is because, well, the technology got too complex for it. Which sounds like an oxymoron, but that's exactly what happened. There were other factors too, but it seems odd to me that the conversation about shooters has started completely ignoring these factors. How cool it is just to have like 10 enemies in a room that you have to move around and prioritize. That's really fun. And it's not the way modern shooters play out. Now, when I say modern shooters, I'm talking about a very specific class of... I don't even really hate Call of Duty. I feel almost bad about bashing on it, but it is sort of the poster child for things that have gone down that direction. But more to a point, things like BioShock Infinite, very well polished, but linear as fuck. You get a hallway with enemies and then another hallway with enemies, it's almost as bad as Quake 2. And I really don't like that. Okay, so this gun, the railgun, is not good at taking these dudes down. Maybe I can charge this up more, but like the Kafka demons, it's kind of hard to keep these flying pukey jellyfish in line. Oh my god, they hurt so bad. You need to go down. Man. Okay. Getting up those 2 ladders is such a pain. So, yeah. The visual art style can, A, look really cool, be really versatile and tactile and all those nice IL words. And it also means that you can have more shit going on at the same time. More enemies, more interactions, more behaviors. And I think that's really cool. So I'm gonna probably survive this round, I hope. At least kill everything this time around. I'm certainly not gonna make anywhere near a high time. But I am enjoying, just walking through shooting things. It does definitely have that Doom sort of thing going on. Now again, things that Doom didn't do was random levels, unless you had like Sludge. Let's not talk about Sludge. And it also didn't do the whole 1 weapon at a time thing. And there I'm just curious about where the game's going to go. I'm not critical, I'm not going to be that elitist asshole, oh, it's not exactly like Doom, so I don't like it, dude. I'm not going to be that guy. I am curious about how those gameplay elements are going to be fleshed out in the future. Oh my god. Those orange fuckers are just the fuckeriest. Okay, so this time I've killed all the dudes, and now I should be able to get in the door. If I don't splash myself first. Okay guys, I think that'll be it from me. Not the most successful runs for me, but this is my first time with it. But this time, it didn't sound like I was either A, talking into a tin can, or B, trying to make hot love with your ear by blowing into it as hard as I could. So, hopefully I made preparations for the first time around and actually got something out there. So, good games, guys. Once again, on Friday, here, let me switch this over. On Friday, we'll have the QuakeCon Forums Half-Life 2 DM, which I'm not a player of, but I love these guys, and they apparently don't mind if I'm doing something I'm not so experienced with, just as long as I'm there. So, I'm totally willing to do that. And then on Saturday, we'll have the Quake Live Quad Damage, which will be the final week of the Quad Damage, which I'll feel pretty good about, I'll feel pretty accomplished for being able to get that fucking tournament over with. The Quad Damage is something that people have always been excited about, but whenever you talk to Eternity admin about it, it's a completely different story, because, yeah, it's a pain in the ass to run. Now, there weren't any logistical problems with running this. It was only the fact that I was A, sick, and then B, traveling, and then C, FadeCon, and then D, traveling again, that I wasn't able to really do anything with it this past, these like past 3 weeks. So we're finally going to get it done, unless I get flown off to New York again, which fingers crossed I won't. But we'll have Quake Live on Saturday. We'll have Half-Life 2 on Friday. It'll be the first like Valve game on Tastyspleen TV ever. I don't know. Do I want to do it on a different stream so as not to sully things? I don't know. Okay, guys. Have a friggin' good night. This is really fun, really enjoyable. Go download it. You can go ahead and beat my times, I'm sure. Get on the scoreboard. See some Tastyspleners up there. See some QuakeCon people up there. See some FadeCon people up there. I just won't be up there because I'm not much of a speedrunner. Anyway, guys, have a good fucking night.